Well, we've begun the writing adventure once again, and here we are. This is day 23, and we began yesterday, but we're going to include yesterday into today. So yesterday was the 13th of February 2024, and today is clearly the 14th. So this is kind of a two-day thing. We're beginning again. Fine, you got me. Day 23, today's 24. A combined video of the journey so far. Now, as you remember, the last one, we did a good purge. We purged the shit out of it, and we've already found errors and stuff. I made that document. I talked to you about it, the realm of God and all that stuff, and what Eris must do to access this place. Now, I've already gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably like 10 pages in the past couple of days of, I restarted at a certain point. I was like, okay, I'm gonna restart here, we're gonna go forward. And I added more story elements to, I know, I see you, to the actual story. I made it a little bit more like, oh, what's going on here? A little bit of intrigue, ooh, ah, and all that stuff. After the preliminary entry into the world, I gotta say, I always find it to be very interesting when you're doing, hi, I know. When you're doing like a writing a story or a fucking, I don't know, some sort of short story. And the first entry in and that first draft it's kind of lifeless. In a sense, at least for me, I walk in and it's like there's not a whole lot of like shit going on. There's not like a lot of plot happening. It's just movement through set places, and maybe the character will kind of like stumble across shit. I find that it's my job to do that, to read into the shit he stumbled in, find ways to connect it to the plot. So it's like, oh man, I found a stone on my fucking journey. And I'm sitting here like, what the fuck? And so I have to go through all my like notes, my fucking file cabinet full of shit. I'm like, what can I connect to this stone that connects to the actual plot? You know, it's kind of, I find it's shit like that that I have to do. And then from that point, we have to start establishing people's motives and shit. And so for me, I got a couple motives going because it would really help the story, and it'll really make the reader think like, oh my god, who's this person? What do they want? And all that. It's just really interesting. It really is to kind of tread through this stuff. Also, a little side note here, I never know what to say here. Because it's like, what am I gonna just ruin the whole fucking book? So it's like I try to be honest, but it's like it's also cryptic that like 5 people give a fuck about it. But whatever. I just kind of think it's very, I don't know, man. I really wish I could put into words this journey so far, but it's been quite interesting. And the more I'm writing in book 2, and the more I'm kind of fleshing it out a bit, you know, re-going over sections and adding more elements to it, and looking at certain moments that happen in the story and all that shit, I just get like moments of like, wow, like I'm actually doing this. This is fucking crazy. I can't believe I'm fucking here. I can't believe I'm making all this happen. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's mind-blowing. I never really thought I'd be this person, but writing a story, but I sense this kind of, I wouldn't say urgency, but as you see in the other videos, I'm very much like, I don't know how to word it, man. I tread like half in one world and half in the other, and I'm trying to unravel everything about it. Okay, is this where we're gonna snuggle? Okay. And like, I don't know how to explain it more than I feel a strange duty when it comes to what I'm doing here in this story that I'm writing. Because a lot of it has to do with, as I said before, a lot of it has to do with creating a doorway for somebody. Helping them get into this other place so that they may access stuff for themselves. And using my book as a sort of vessel to get into this other place. It's a vehicle. Now, when I discovered that in the previous video I made, Imagination, I don't know, something about the doorway into the other realm. When I discovered that, man, it blew my own mind, but it makes so much sense now. I'm like, oh my God, that is what this is. You are creating a vessel for people to pass into so that they can go within this fucking world here. And once in here, it's just, I feel such a sense of duty to like make sure that every element inside of this world works in tandem, you know? Everything works together, everything works against each other, everything is real as it can be. Everything that happens for a reason. There is no throwaway. All things are on purpose. And there is no like, yeah, this is just a bad guy and fuck him, he's just a bad guy. It's always like how to make this all believable. Not to say that I'm good at it, you know, I'm not saying like, yeah, because I'm doing this, I'm the best there ever was. I don't know. I might be just saying all that and then someone reads it like, yeah, you did a bad job at it. I don't fucking know. It's hard to say because you're treading into this alone. Would you stop with the nails? You're not doing, like, I am kind of working with like with my friends and stuff, but I'm not writing this story with them, if that makes sense. They're helping me create parts of the whole lore in their own way, but like when it comes to my personal writing here on the typewriter, this has nothing to do with them. This is all me. So, you know, I'm going at it alone in that sense. I don't think I did my shirt up. Yeah, I did. I did, okay. I'm going it alone and I don't really have a whole lot of... It doesn't feel like a whole lot of direction. But at the same time, it feels like there is. I don't know how to say it better than that. It's like stumbling in the dark, but you're in a room that you're supposed to be in. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you'll figure it out. You're meant to be here. And it feels like, I don't think so. I don't know what the hell is happening. It kind of feels that way, where it's like you're being guided, but kind of from a distance, from afar. They're not gently ushering you into this place. It's more like you keep looking back and they're just giving you a thumbs up. And you're like, okay, you're like, sure. And like, come on, man, you got it. You're like, okay. That's kind of how it feels when doing this. And I see like this sense of self-pressure when doing this kind of stuff. It's like no one's making me feel any pressure from this at all, because it doesn't exist in most people in the world, and the people that do know about it think it's cool. So there is no pressure outside. It's just this internal pressure of what I put on myself every time I sit down, and quit. What makes it difficult to write? It's like, stop it. She's like, stop. Just put that on yourself. The pressure I put in here makes it so difficult to write. You're gonna go over here. Too much. Too much. Because, again, you want to make it the best you can make it, but at the same time, it's like, when I walk into this imagination, when I walk into this other world, and when I'm trying to discern what's happening, and I'm trying to find a story that's happening inside of it, sometimes I do it right, other times I do it wrong. But I don't know when that is when I'm looking at it. You don't know what parts are right and wrong. You don't know, like, when something comes up in the second book, they're like, what did they say happened? And I gotta think back to the first book. I have to remember to treat that fucking seriously, because to them it happened in succession. If I asked you what happened to you a couple weeks ago, you'd be like, you could think through it. But as I'm writing so chaotically that I have to sit and go like, I don't know what the fuck revelation he came to. I didn't realize that he knew that already. And so I'm like, oh God, how long have I been writing where he doesn't know about something that he already knew about? It's just like, that for me is hard to keep track of. So there's this kind of amnesia element to the story that I don't want to happen, but kind of does from time to time. And so when I remember, I have to kind of write it in a way, if I can't fix it, if it's too far back and I just cannot simply fix it because the whole story changed, I have to write like amnesia shit. Like, I don't remember this happening. which luckily works with the title, which is called Forgotten. Yes! Because for me, that's just a big thing in my life, is not remembering. You know, there's so much stuff that I'm supposed to remember, and everyone tells me I need to remember, and I forget about it. And then all of a sudden I'm faced with, like, do you remember? And I'm like, So I can relate to it. So for me, it's not too jarring. And that's the problem when it's internal, because to me, it's like, yeah, who cares? Everyone forgets shit all the time. Not a big deal. Not everyone has this perfect memory. Like, who the fuck can recall the exact words someone says to them? That's weird. So to me, that is weird, but to someone else, it's not. And I have to find this kind of mode of, like, trying to be relatable to people and not be too myself, because they're going to read a book and it's so me that they're going to have a hard time relating with it. And it doesn't serve the purpose that it's supposed to serve in that sense. So there's like this responsibility that I just have a very difficult time with. That I really just, it can be stressful, and that's what like makes writing for me take so long, is I'm trying so hard to try to do the best I can do, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, we're back on the writing journey. Let's go to the next one.